What's up, everybody? Tony Pizza Guy here, back with the death of WCW. And now we're going to talk about Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and their contract negotiation / problems / everything that happened when they came into WCW. So let me put this into perspective. At the time, there was a thing called Sting Money. And what Sting Money was, that was the most money that any performer could make at the time in the WCW. Probably higher than WWE at the time, because this was guaranteed money. Now, Sting Money was $750,000 a year, guaranteed. WCW had offered Scott Hall over Sting Money. He told Kevin Nash that he was going to be making over Sting Money for 150 days. Now, at the WWE, they were working 300-day schedule. So Hall said, you know what, Nash, you could probably come in and you can probably get more than that since you were a world champion. Well, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash had received a favored nations. And what that means is that if anybody comes in and makes more money than them, they will instantly get paid that amount. Say that they're making $75,000 or $75,000. Someone comes in for $100,000. They instantly get bumped up to $100,000. Wow. And since Nash was a champion, he knew that he could come in and get $1 million a year for 150 days of work. That is amazing. And remember, they have that favored nations in their contract. So what they did was they asked Vince, they said, Vince, I just want the equal contract. Just match what they have offered in the WCW. If you can match that contract, then I will stay. And Vince said, no, I can't do that for you, because if I did that for you, I'd have to do it for this guy. And Nash was like, I gotta go, because WWE had that family thing. Vince was saying, this is family, but then Nash was like, well, I have a real family, so I have to take care of it. So coming into WCW, they actually signed a deal memo. And that is a proposed contract, not an actual contract, but proposing the partnership. And Nash and Hall actually had an amendment in it that it was not binding and that they could back out at any time if they wanted. And that was smart on their part. But here's how they debuted. Hall's contract was up. He debuted on Nitro. The week after that, their contracts were up 5 days in between each other. So the stars were aligning. Everything was right. Hall comes in one week and says, hey, you know who I am, you know what I am. But he never said his real name in WCW. He just came out, interfered, cut a promo, and then left. So he said, next week, my guy's coming in. Nash's contract was up 5 days later. He comes into WCW, debuts. He's the big guy. He's the big surprise. And they were actually posed as WWE guys, but they weren't really WWE guys. They never actually said their names. So what actually happened is WWE, got very upset and tried to sue the WCW over this. But it also made WWE do something else. WWE, to counteract this, decided that they were going to announce fake Razor and fake Diesel. But they didn't say it. They said, next week we're going to have Razor Ramon and Diesel coming out. And WCW went crazy because they were freaking out when they heard this on WWE television. They thought that Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were going back to the WWE after they came in and screwed up the company. And that was huge. They were freaking out. And they were watching. They watched it. They saw what happened. And they decided, you know what? We need to get them on real contracts. This was before the fake Razor and fake Diesel actually came out. They said, we need to get them on real contracts before they go back to the WWE. So they actually called them back in, called them in for a meeting. They were actually offered $400,000 more to sign actual contracts. $400,000 more just to sign contracts that they already signed in the first place. So they were standing in the back after they signed these contracts. The next week they were watching Raw. They were standing in the back of the production truck. They watched, and out comes fake Razor and fake Diesel. And WCW literally crapped themselves. They were, oh my God, we just signed 2 guys, gave them, we lost $800,000 by signing them when we already had them signed. Wow. Yeah. So that's just a little taste on how WCW wasted a lot of their money, but they had that Ted Turner checkbook, so they didn't care about it. Wow, that was amazing. I don't know what you guys think of that, but I think that is one of the craziest stories ever. Kevin Nash, the ultimate businessman, getting that deal memo with no binding contract yet, where he could back out when he wants. Smart on his part. He worked the system, and Kevin Nash was smart. But I will be back with more Death of WCW stories. Again, always, if you have any good stories you want me to talk about, please leave it in the comment section below, and let me know what your thoughts on all of this is. Anyway, guys, Tony Pizza Guy, frag out.